Did you know that there is this Twitter account where every time the weekend approaches, somebody plays this video of Daniel Craig introducing the weekend? So it's just like a short clip where he goes, Ladies and gentlemen,
all right.
the weekend.
Coming to you from RKMD Studio, it's SoyaCincau presents Live and Raw, a show where we answer your questions. I'm Samira with Rory, Zach, Sophie, Intan, and tonight, a battle royale between the Perodua Ativa and the Proton X50. With your hosts, Amin, Ashari, and Alexander Wong.
Wow. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to another show, Live and Raw. Happy Friday. Oh my God, it's the weekend. I can't wait to enjoy my time relaxing and not doing anything. But first, the matter at hand, answering your questions. So welcome to Live and Raw, a show where Alex and I will answer any and every of your questions about technology, gadgets, and more. So in today's show, we have a theme lah. So it's not like a hard theme, but it's just like a topic that we discuss. It's the Proton X50 versus the Perodua Ativa. So these two cars are super close in terms of what they can do. They are compact SUVs. They're priced about roughly around the same range, about the same size, and they're from Proton and Perodua, which are like fierce competitors in the automotive arena. So if you have any questions about those two cars, let us know. But also, if you have any questions about anything else, about technology, gadgets, what internet plan you should get, what phone you should get, what computer you should get, what printer you should get, or even about the COVID-19 vaccines, we're here to answer any and all of your questions. Okay, before we get into that, I just want to give a big shout out to all our listeners on Clubhouse. We are broadcasting live both on Clubhouse and Facebook at the same time. So a big shout out to all my crew, Zachary, Intan, Najib, Fatin, there's Ray, and to all the listeners. We have Azlan, Frankie, Sophie, Amirul. Oh, we have a Box of Tech. Hello, Box of Tech. Hi there. And we have Florence, and we have, is that AI or L?
I think AI.
Okay, AI. Cool name. Thank you very much for joining us on Clubhouse, guys. If you have any questions, just feel free to raise your hands and we'll bring you up for you to ask your questions. Also, if you find this show to be useful and helpful for you, do invite everybody else to come and join the fun. Also, a big shout out to those who are on Facebook. Thank you very much for joining us. And anything you want to say before we go into the questions, Alex?
Oh yeah, just a housekeeping reminder. If for those who are on Clubhouse, just take note that this session is being recorded and broadcasted live on Facebook. And if you say anything here, it'll be recorded, and we also have a copy of it later on during the replay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. Very useful information. Now, let's go into the topic at hand. Rory, do we have any questions so far?
I mean, do you hear that?
What's that?
Yes, we got no questions.
Oh, okay. So no questions yet. No questions yet on Facebook and Clubhouse. For those who have just joined us, I see Cash and I see Shafiq. Thanks very much for joining us on Clubhouse. We are actually ready to take your questions if you have any. So if you have a question to ask, just raise your hands and we'll be more than happy to answer them. The topic of today is the Perodua Ativa versus the Proton X50. Anything you want to know about the two cars that you don't already know?
Oh.
Yes.
We have a question on Clubhouse.
Oh, okay. Cool.
All right, let's invite
Aslan.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, cool. Hi, Aslan.
Okay.
Ask your question, please.
Hi. Actually, it's not a question. I'm just want to share my experience since I've test driven both the Ativa and the X50.
Ooh.
Nice.
So I personally drive a Ford Fiesta EcoBoost, and in my household we have a Peugeot 308, a Volkswagen Passat, and a Proton Suprema. So I can say that I quite familiar and have experience with all those turbocharged 3 cylinders, dual clutch, and CVT characteristics. So I test drove these two cars because I'm because I want to replace the Suprema because there's quite an issue on the Suprema already. So I'll start with the Ativa first. So my initial impression from my short test drive of the Ativa, it feels like it's quite punchy, that it's quite powerful on the low end. But once you get to the higher speed, it feels like it's out of breath. So I feel like it's more suitable if you are driving it around in the city compared to the highway. And regarding the gearbox of the Ativa, it's using a DCVT. And I noticed that this DCVT is a new technology. So it's way better, miles better than the old CVT on the Proton Suprema. And regarding the engine, I feel like the engine is a tad bit loud. But it doesn't vibrate a lot for a 3-cylinder. But then again, the car is still new lah. We don't know if once it reached like more than 5 years old, we don't know if it can maintain that smoothness lah. So what else about the Ativa that I can say?
How about the space inside?
The space inside, it's a little bit smaller than a Myvi, but I'm not really tall. I'm around 170, so I can just fit, I can fit quite well. So, I did test the reverse camera on the Ativa. I feel like the quality is not really up to par. It's like if you've test driven the X50, you know that the quality is just so. So it's very similar.
Yeah. Okay. So, Azlan. Yeah. So we have like a 30-minute show. So we really love that you providing the input. So maybe if you can share us your thoughts on the X50 in like 10 seconds.
On the okay, X50 as well. It was smooth. The gearbox is tuned for smoothness, and it's not like on Volkswagen where when you tekan, it's like pushed into your seat. So it's very smooth. And the X50 has something called intelligent cruise control, which works from 0 km/h up to more than 150. But the Ativa, it only works above 30 km/h.
Yeah.
So you cannot use it in traffic jam.
Yep.
And the X50, I noticed that there's a loud wind noise once you reach 90 kilometers and above. And I saw, as I said earlier, the camera on the X50 is quite bad also. But it's weird because the camera quality is bad here in Malaysia only. In other market where they have the Geely Courier, the quality is very, very good. So maybe it's a cost-cutting measure.
Yeah, it's definitely a cost-cutting measure. So I think we'll go and talk into detail about what the difference are between the Perodua Ativa and the Proton X50. So okay, Azlan, thank you very much for your thoughts on that.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll go into let's talk about just the differences. But before we go into the differences, I just want to shout out to all our viewers on Facebook. I see there Syed Abdullah. He's a young guy. He's running his own YouTube channel. It's called Box of Tech. I just want to give a shout out to him. He says, I do actually like the Perodua Ativa design. Because Rory said that it's not that good. But we'll talk about that a little later. I want to shout out to YK Wu. He says the Ativa, I guess, looks like a countryman from the side. I don't know if you guys agree. And then big shout out to Shireen Aziha. Hello. Happy Friday. Hope you're having fun watching the show. Okay. Since we don't have any questions yet, maybe Alex, you can go into the differences that people might not know about the two cars.
Okay, so I think one small thing that maybe some of you might know, but some others don't know, is that for Perodua Ativa, they're using a timing chain for the engine, while the Proton X50 still use a timing belt.
Yeah, okay, so a lot of people don't take that into consideration, and I think Paul Tan, right, did the numbers on that, and you actually, okay, so the benefit of having a timing chain versus a timing belt is that, of course, with a timing chain, it's virtually lasts forever. You don't have to change anything. With a timing belt, you have to. And if you are car owners and a car owners that's own car that's already 100,000 kilometers plus, and you have to go through a timing belt change, you know that it can be a very painful experience in terms of cost. Do we have any questions, Rory?
We actually do have a question from Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, Shirin Aziha.
Okay.
Amin,
Yes.
which car would you rather buy if you had to sell your track bike? Then he does one of them.
Okay, first, okay, thank you, Shirin, for the
Okay.
question. Okay, yes, I do have a track bike. I don't think if I sell my track bike, it's going to be worth enough for me to buy any of those two cars. But yes, if I have to choose, it will definitely be the Proton X50. Because I believe, Alex has driven the car. I have not personally, but I believe in Proton's DNA of ride and handling. And I believe that the Proton X50 will be a more fun drive compared to the Ativa, because traditionally Perodua cars have been, like, I don't know if you guys driven Perodua cars before. You know it's going to be super comfortable, but the handling is not going to be that great. It's not a spirited drive. It's a car for you to go from A to B, and that's it. And
Tell that to all the Myvi racers.
You want to get B really fast.
my V is king. I'm not going to dispute that. But for me, yeah, it's Proton X50 because it's more powerful, a more spirited drive. It has more smart features, and I do believe that the electronics and everything else is much better on the Proton X50 compared to the Perodua Ativa. Alex, you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, for me, overall, I think the X50 is a better car. But in terms of the price range, right, the Ativa is so much more cheaper. It's like 20,000 ringgit cheaper because it starts at so it starts at 61,500 ringgit. So that's 20k lower than the X50 base spec. And on top of that, I need to give credit to Perodua for including 6 airbags across the range, including autonomous emergency braking. That's something that Proton doesn't offer in the base model. And for AEB, you need to get the top spec model, the flagship, which is going to cost you 100 over 1,000 ringgit.
So I guess in terms of like the specifications, yeah, Perodua wins. But okay, I want to point out to this one issue that I have with Perodua cars. The new generation ones, the Arus and also the new Myvi, the 2017 Myvi, those things come with a lot of the kononnya advanced features. But the problem is, it doesn't mean that if the advanced features are available in the car, it performs the same way as another car. So if you would compare the advanced features on the Perodua Myvi, the new Myvi, with, let's say, Proton X50, I would say they're not comparable. Even if the functions are the same, the accuracy and the way that it's done, the smoothness and everything else, I would think the Proton X50 does it better compared to the Perodua Myvi. Okay, if you notice, I say Perodua Myvi because the Perodua Myvi and the Arus are cars developed by Perodua for Perodua and Toyota for emerging markets. So they're not sold in Japan or any other developed countries for that matter. They're sold probably in Indonesia, probably in Philippines, probably in Vietnam, because they are designed to be as cheap as possible for the manufacturers. And when it's designed to be cheap as possible, obviously there are compromises. And one of them is within the safety aspect of the vehicles. The other things that I don't like about the Myvi is the seats. They are too short for me. And just the plastics and everything else. Now, I want to talk about the Proton Ativa because it's different from the Myvi and the Arus because there is a Japanese version of the car. And that means you get a lot of advanced technological features from the Japanese version in the Malaysian version. So in that instance, probably in terms of safety and advanced features, the Proton Ativa is comparable to the Proton X50. But as our listener on Clubhouse, Azlan, has pointed out, some of the features like the automatic start and stop,
The adaptive cruise control.
yeah, autonomous braking and stuff like that. It's more practical on the Proton X50 compared to the Perodua Ativa.
Yep.
And also on the Proton X50, there's autonomous parking, right, Alex?
Yeah, that's right. And that's not available on Ativa in Malaysia.
Yeah, but there is available on the Ativa versions, which is the Daihatsu Rocky and the Toyota, not Rush, it's Rise, Toyota Rise. In Japan, so they have autonomous parking and they have more advanced features, but you lose that out in Malaysia. Okay, so I think I want to talk more about that, but I think we have questions, right? Do we have questions from Clubhouse?
We do. We have a
Yay!
question answer. It's remember it's from AI.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, hello.
Hello. Hi, guys.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you
Wow,
so
so
much
much energy.
for having me here. All right.
No
So I
worries,
have
man.
actually two questions. Number one, I just like an opinion from you guys based on the recent news on the X50 crash. That's been reported, total loss and everything. So probably your thoughts on the safety features for Proton X50. That's number one. And number two, this question might probably steer away a bit, but since both of the cars that we're talking about are Malaysian made in a way, why should first car owners actually opt to buy a Malaysian car
Wow.
other than its price point? Yeah, so yeah, those are my questions. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, AI. Afiq Ismail, thank you for that question. These are like really good questions. So, okay, about the crashes, a bit of context for those who are not in the know about what happened. So, there's been like a sort of like a increase. I wouldn't say increase lah. Like it's a not a high frequency. You see quite a number of Proton X50 being reported with like really bad crashes. One of the more popular one is the Bumblebee car, the one that the owner spent like over
I think more than the car itself. maybe.
more than the car itself to modify. I mean to beautify lah, not really modify. Like it's not like super fast or anything. It's just new rims and everything like that. And that was got into a crash. And then quite recently there was a Proton X50 that was
In delivery.
slated to be delivered to Johor. It was delivered by the car salesman himself, and the salesman drove the car all the way down to Johor, and on the way he crashed and absolutely totaled the car. So the question is, in the spate of crashes that's happening, what do you think about the safety aspect of the Proton X50? Alex, you want to answer that question first?
Yeah, for me, it's okay. We need to know what's the cause of the accident because Proton has a lot of safety features, but there's a range to it. Like, for example, autonomous emergency braking. If no mistaken, the limit is 150. And also, there's also adaptive cruise control, which can help you to automatically accelerate and decelerate for you based on the distance between you and the car in front. So these safety features, there's always a threshold. Once you go above the limit, you're putting yourself at risk.
Yeah, and I like how you rightly pointed out that there is a limit, right? So a lot of people, when especially in cars that have all these advanced safety features, autonomous this, cruise control that, traction control this, stability control that, right? People in big cars like Mercedes and BMWs and Volkswagens, people in small cars like Protons. When people drive these cars, there is this false sense of security. They feel that, okay, all these safety features will keep me safe. And to a point, yes.
They survive.
The driver survived. Luckily for him, thank God for him. The airbags and everything, the pre-tensioners and everything. Yes, these items are there to keep you safe, but to a point. In fact, if you look at the crash test protocols, cars are only crash tested up to maybe 60, 70 kilometers per hour, not more than that. I believe the car that crashed was driven at least double the speed. And obviously, that's going to defeat a lot of the safety features that's already available. So, is the Proton X50 not safe because of the crashes that's happening? Number one, I think the number of crashes that's happening compared to the number of Proton X50 that is already available on the road is too little. So there is not enough data to make a judgment on that. But having said that, the Proton X50 is actually also a rebatch Boyue Geely Binue, right? It's a Chinese car that's been sold. Sorry if I mentioned that wrong, but it's a Chinese car that's been sold in China and other markets, and you don't see a similar pattern in those countries. So I don't think that there is a safety issue with regards to the Proton X50. So that is to answer question number one. Then question number two, which is also another great one, is for a first-time buyer, why or would you? Was it why or would you spend on buying a local car? Why? Okay, why would I buy a local car if it's my first car? Okay, Alex, why would you buy? Actually, my first car was a local car.
Mine's partially. So at the end of the day, it depends on your budget. How much can you afford to fork out for your first car? So like normally when I set out to buy a new car, my target was 50K or less.
Yeah.
And I settled for a Inocom Gets. It's a locally assembled Hyundai Gets, which is priced at 50K. Just nice.
Yeah. Okay, my first car was the Satra GTI.
Wow. Big ticket item here.
Wow, flexing ni.
Not flexing. It's an iconic car. The Satra GTI is Malaysia's purest. Okay, not purest. The Proton Satra R3 is probably the purest, but it is a very iconic car. Now, okay, to answer your question, I would spend on a local car. Number one, because of the budget. But number two, local cars have gone have improved so significantly from the days of my Satra, from the days of Proton Saga. You get so much more technology, comfort, and features in a Perodua Myvi or a Proton Iris, or even a Proton. Okay, Proton X50 may be a bit too expensive. A Proton Saga. Than you would 10 years before. So if I'm a fresh grad, just got a job, I would definitely look into spending money on a local car. Definitely, for sure. And also in Malaysia, because of the price structure and everything, right, there is actually no point unless you really want to buy expensive cars, because you lose the value so much. So I don't see a point in buying a car that is beyond what, not just your means, but beyond what you need it for. So let's say if you're a single guy, not yet married, there's no point buying a pickup truck unless you're a contractor.
Yeah, so adding to that, right, some people might consider, why not I get a foreign make but second hand? But the thing is, as your first car, right, do you want to go through the hassle of possible problems and maintenance down the road? So personally, for me, I prefer to get a brand new car because you have the safety net of the warranty. So if anything goes wrong in the first 3 years, you're covered.
Yeah, I mean, some people might like that challenge, buying secondhand. Yeah, kudos to you guys, but you really got to know what you're getting yourself into. Okay, before we go into the next question, I see a lot of comments. People are like, okay, so again, Shireen, don't mess with Myvi drivers. And then Vernon goes, Myvi equals Malaysia first and true supercar. And then Azman goes, Myvi a supercar? Yeah. So what do you guys think? Put them in the comment section below. Okay, I have Zafe. Zafe says, I'm an R3 fanboy. Sakit hati ke bro? Okay, Rory, do you have any questions?
We have questions on Facebook and also one on Clubhouse.
Okay, let's take the one on Facebook first.
All right, so the one on Facebook comes from Azman Azam Sulaiman. Amin. MV Agusta Turiso Veloce Lusso versus ZX6R.
Why all these people bullying me? This is my friend Azman. Big shout out to you. Thanks very much for watching the show, bro, and thanks very much for the question. It depends on the purpose. So the Turismo Lusso is obviously a touring bike. So if you want to go far, go to Penang or go to Thailand, the Turismo is the way to go. The ZX6R is a sports bike, more suited for a day in the track. So if you want to, have fun on the track, don't take the Turismo, go for the ZX6R. I hope I've answered your question. Okay, next question, please.
All right, let's go to Clubhouse.
Oh, Alex, you want to take the question on Facebook?
Oh, sorry, I think go Clubhouse first.
Okay, let's go to Clubhouse.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello,
Hi.
Florence.
Hi.
Hi,
Can you hear
Florence.
me?
Oh, hi, it's Florence. I remember you. You asked the question last week, right?
Yeah.
Hello, welcome back. Thank you for coming back to the show.
Okay. You're welcome. Okay. So I have two questions here.
All right.
Okay. The first one is I want to ask about you guys' opinion about the safety features of these two. Like, which of these two that has the best safety features in your opinion? Because we all know that Proton has a joint venture with Geely, and also Perodua Ativa is based on the Hatsu, right? And
Yep.
also, just like Azlan told us just now, that if you drive Perodua Ativa to a certain point, for example, like 180 kilometers per hour, it will go like kind of shaky, because that's what I read on a Twitter a few days ago.
Mhm.
And also my second question is, do you think that it's fair for us to compare these two models? Because I think they are really different from each other, because I think that Perodua Ativa is smaller than X50. And so I think that Ativa is a mini SUV while X50 is a SUV, but correct me if I'm wrong. And also they have like different engines, power outputs, and so they have different audience. Yeah. So that's my question. Thank you.
Florence, looks like you did your research on this. I think people are trying to stump us, Alex. Okay, thank you very much, Florence. Let's try to answer that question. Okay, question number 1 is the safety features, right? You want to take that?
Okay, I think in terms of the safety features for the base model, if you just comparing the X50 base model versus the Ativa's base model, I would say the Ativa is ahead, because the Ativa has 6 airbags across the range. It has autonomous emergency braking as well. So for the Proton X50, if you look at the flagship model, definitely the X50 has better safety features all around. So apart from having the 6 airbags and autonomous cruise control, you also have like you also have like the extra LiDAR sensor, which I believe is not available on Ativa. So that gives you a better accurate prediction of the car in front of you.
Yep.
Yeah, you also have camera backup as well. So in terms of safety features, if you look at the overall, the Proton X50 high spec model, yes, it is definitely better. But for Ativa, on the base spec model version, at the cheapest price at 61,000 ringgit, I think that's a better safety option.
Yeah, well, I have to agree with Alex. If you're looking for, if safety is a major concern, 6 airbags is better than 4, definitely. And especially in the Ativa, I wouldn't say so if it's the Myvi, spec for spec. Okay, so because, again, the platform. So the Myvi is like a modified old Myvi platform, and the safety features are not as advanced as the Ativas, even though they do the same thing. So for the base model, Ativa, I would say that it is safer in terms of the active and passive systems compared to the base model, the Proton X50. And then it's also, what, 20k cheaper, right, Alex?
Yeah, 20k cheaper.
So for sure, then this brings us to the next question Florence asked. Is it fair to compare the Proton X50 and the Perodua Ativa? Yeah, we were thinking about it. Fair is relative because when it comes to baby SUVs, like small SUVs that's produced by local manufacturers, there's only 2 right now: the Proton Ativa and Proton Ativa, the Perodua Ativa and the Proton X50. They're only these 2. So in terms of class, I would think they are the same. Sizes, they are kind of comparable, I believe.
But I would say that the size, I agree with her that the size is definitely bigger exterior wise, and also like for example the length, right? The Ativa is 4,000 millimeters, whereas the X50 is 4,300, so it's like 30 centimeters longer. And also you have a longer wheelbase, but the Ativa is actually taller, and despite being a smaller car, the Ativa actually has a bigger boot. The boot's actually sorry about that, the boot's actually 370 liters versus the X50's 330 liters.
So would you say the Ativa is a more practical car? It also comes with a full-size spare tire.
Yeah.
The Proton X50 doesn't, right? We didn't check.
I didn't check the
Maybe somebody can help check on Facebook and let us know. But I don't know, man. Okay, subjectively, I think while the Proton X50 is more expensive, it does look much better.
Yeah, I must agree with that. But let's say if you're looking for baby SUV, and then if you're already in the market to buy a Myvi and you're okay to top up a little bit more, then the Ativa is an interesting proposition.
Yeah, I think for me, that's a good point, Alex, because the biggest competitor for the Perodua Ativa is not the Proton X50 because the price is completely different, but it is actually the Perodua Myvi. So I think Perodua is kind of like cannibalizing its market share when it comes to Myvis. Or maybe people just don't want to buy Myvis anymore. They're just more concerned. They want to get like a SUV body shape. Rory wants to chime in.
Yeah, it's the Xiaomi approach. I don't care which one of mine you buy as long as you buy mine.
So cannibalization doesn't matter because money means the same thing if it's from the same person, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so let's go to the next question. Rory.
All right, we have a question from Facebook. Hafiz Hanan. Hi everyone. The common aftermarket head unit will be in single DIN or double DIN. Is there any aftermarket option for floating screens in the newer cars?
Okay, do you want to take this first?
Yeah, I would say, okay, from experience from for example, the X50 and X70 specifically, as you know, it comes with an integrated display. The thing is, until today, I don't see any aftermarket solution, and the reason being is because that whole unit, right, is integral to the whole car component. So that single unit is also controlling aircon, your other various car features, even the ventilated seats are controlled from there. So you can't replace that. So that's an issue. And I agree with you. Like, for example, what would be the aftermarket option? Right now, I think everything's very proprietary right now. Especially even the X50. My biggest gripe with the X50 is there's no Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And until today, I've been looking around, right? Even X70 owners couldn't find a solution to offer Android Auto and Apple CarPlay.
Yeah. Okay, so I agree with Alex. The Proton X50 is a bit more difficult for you to upgrade the stereo unit unless you have like a dedicated stereo unit just for sound. But then all the other features like air conditioning, heated seats, and everything else, you still need to use the floating display. But I think that's gonna mess up the dashboard, and the dashboard doesn't have a lot of space in the center console part for you to add another head unit. With the with the Ativa, it's a whole different story altogether. So your question, double DIN or single DIN? I think double DIN is better. Because most aftermarket car in-car entertainment systems now come in double DIN form, and they come with a huge display. Most popular is people buy Android powered in-car entertainment systems, which I don't like because it's powered by Android. The problem with Android is that you have to upgrade the software every month or every year. For security purposes, you have to upgrade the software every month. Phone manufacturers do that. And even with phone manufacturers, yang always have to upgrade their software, even then they have problems upgrading their software monthly. So when it comes from China brand Android car players, the problem is you might run into a time where the OS is not upgradable anymore, and you have to change that unit because you need to get a unit with a updated OS. So I don't recommend getting a Android Auto. Not Android Auto, Android powered in-car entertainment system. Now, then your question is for floating screens, is there an aftermarket option? For the X50, at the moment, no. We'll explain already why. But for the Perodua, yes, there is, for sure. There are custom, it's not plug and play. It's not going to be plug and play, but you can replace the display with a bigger unit, and it needs to be customized. So the mounting and everything needs to be customized. But, with a 9-inch display, I don't think you need, because the Ativa has a 9-inch display, I don't think you need to upgrade the display itself. Maybe what you need to do is just maybe add an amplifier into the in-car entertainment system, and immediately you will notice a significant improvement in the sound of the car. So I would suggest you try that, because the in-car entertainment system of the Perodua Ativa is quite complete. It has like a HDMI in, so that you can play videos on the 9-inch display. So it's good enough already, I feel. All right, let's go to the next question. Actually, we are over time, but I think because we're having so much fun and there's actually tons of questions, I will take probably another 4 questions before we end the show.
Alrighty. So we have another question on Facebook. Zafir Zarkasha. I hope I didn't butcher it too badly.
Please butcher this fella's name. I know this guy.
Does it matter? Does it matter if a local car is truly local? Ooh.
Wow, that is a very spiritual question. Because a car is very personal. A car is like a phone to a lot of people. A car symbolizes what you are. It is a reflection and a projection of your identity and personality. Some people are very patriotic. Actually, most people are. And, buying a truly local car, that means 100% developed, designed and created in Malaysia, is something to be proud of. Like the French with the Renault and the Peugeot, it's something to be proud of. Like the Japanese people with their Toyotas, Hondas, Nissans, it's something to be proud of. And from that perspective, a truly local car is important. But you cannot say that with this convoluted market that we have in Malaysia. Our local car industry is messed up, to say the least, with the 300% tax, and with local manufacturers that's 49% owned by Geely. Does it matter anymore? It doesn't, because everybody just needs to be mobile. Everybody just needs to be around, because our public transportation system is improving, but it's still not up to par, so that you can be independent of a vehicle, especially if you have a family. So yes, it doesn't matter in this market, in this automotive climate that is in Malaysia. It doesn't matter, because if you're a fresh grad, you just need to buy like the cheapest car you can get, because transport is important to go to work. If you're married, you need to get the cheapest transport you can get. For now, the option is locally available cars. And yeah, you get that. But does it matter if it's 100% local or not? It doesn't. It's price matter more, I think. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, for me, it's get a car that you can afford and the car you enjoy driving day to day.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Are there any truly local cars that are worth buying right now?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Like Proton is like a rebadged car.
No.
Perodua-
Proton has a lot of truly local cars. Like the Saga, the Iris, the Exora.
Okay.
Evora is not Proton.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you have that, and so those are your selections. If it was me, maybe the Saga lah.
I think you're right. The Saga, Iris, and Persona, those are still truly Malaysian.
Yeah,
of sorts,
100% Malaysian. Not 100% like the engine is Malaysian. Maybe just the gearbox is not. Everything else is Malaysian. So yeah, I go for the Saga. Oh, and the Persona. You have the Persona, Iris, Saga, Exora. Exora don't buy, like it's too old already.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next question.
All right, we have a question on Clubhouse.
Okay, cool.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I can hear
How are
accident
you guys?
indicators.
Driving, bro.
Yeah, driving.
Okay, stay safe, okay? Yeah,
Alright.
we're doing good. We're doing good. Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Kash.
Oh,
Kash Amin.
Cash. This is also a repeat listener from last week. Thanks for joining us again.
Oh, alright, thank you. You remember me?
Of course, your name is very unique.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Actually, it's my internet name. My real name is kind of bit different.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll stick with your internet name then.
Hi, okay. So my question is,
Yes.
which one is more economic? Economic is jimat minyak mana lagi jimat minyak between X50 and Ativa. Yes.
Okay. Is that your only question?
Okay. My last question, I want to sue someone on SoyaCincau. How to sue?
What do you mean?
Because I want to sue Intan Fana because she's being too pretty every time.
Oh.
Alright, apa tu?
Bro, kalau
So,
nak mengurat
Intan
janganlah
Fana,
buat dekat
so-
show ni.
Alamak. Alamak. Alright, okay, sorry. So
Okay, that's it.
so that's it for me.
Okay.
Okay, your first,
Alright.
thank you, Cash. Your second question, how to sue? That one you settle with Intan lah. I don't know. By the way, for those who don't know, Intan is our social media manager. Intan, maybe you can show your face on camera later. Okay. Then the other question is, how economical are these two cars? I think Alex is the perfect guy to answer this question.
Okay, economical. Okay, in terms of fuel economy, I would say definitely the Perodua Ativa. In terms of mileage itself, right? Since it's a 1-liter turbo engine, the rated mileage is 18.9 kilometers per liter, versus the Proton X50, which is rated at 15 kilometers per liter. And of course, if you look at the size of it, obviously the Ativa is actually lighter. So according to the spec sheet, it weighs 1,035 kilos, just a ton, while the X50 is about 300 kilos heavier. And in terms of running costs, Proton did the numbers. So if you compare the Perodua Ativa versus the Proton X50, for the period of 5 years, the Ativa, you're looking at spending about 3,000 ringgit for maintenance costs, while the X50 is about 4,800, so almost 50% extra.
Do you know whether the okay? So I know that the 18.1 liters per 100 kilometers means that the Ativa is rated as a EEV.
Yeah, I would say claim.
Claim lah, the
yes.
claim. So it's rated as an EEV, extra efficiency vehicle.
Yeah.
Is it extra?
I can't remember. It's like EEV.
Extreme efficiency. It's a class that we have in Malaysia lah. I don't think the Proton X50 is EEV rated for 15.1 liters per 100 kilometers. So Alex might want to check those numbers. But yeah, the answer to your question is the Ativa is more economical to run in terms of fuel and also maintenance. Oh, okay. So the Proton X50 is also an EEV class vehicle.
It stands for energy efficient vehicle.
Oh, energy efficient.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 more questions. Oh my god, we got so many more questions coming in. But we have only like 30 minutes and we're already like 10 minutes over time.
Yeah, next time you want to ask question, come earlier.
Yeah, come early. Ask faster.
All the
No need to be so shy, especially in the clubhouse there. We don't see your face, we hear your voice. It's fine. But I think a lot of people want to see Intan's face. Okay.
All right,
Next
so
question.
maybe we can get more questions if we do more quick fire style. Because some of these I think can be quick fired. All right, so we have a question on Facebook. So Irfan Naziri, is the 1 liter turbo powerful enough? No.
Yeah, I think that's the answer. Okay, sekejap tadi I asked a question whether the Proton X50 has a full-size spare. So on Facebook, Azlan Mahmud answered the question. The X50 does have a full-size spare. Thank you very much for that answer, Azlan. Okay, let's go to this question. Is the 1 liter turbo engine in the Perodua Ativa powerful enough? Alex, crunch the numbers.
Okay, in terms of the engine output, the 1 liter turbo 1 kR VE turbo engine produces about 97 horsepower and 140 Newton meters of torque. So that's quite similar to the MyV 1.5. I think for city driving is good enough. Like one of our viewers had mentioned that for normal
pickup, the gearing is good for pickup.
Yeah, the pickup is pretty good from standstill. But of course, if you drive more than 100 and all that, then you're going to feel it's going to struggle. If you want to do a lot of highway cruising, of course, the X50 will be a better choice because that car, there's 2 specs for it. The base engine model has 148 horsepower and the top spec, the TGDI model, pushes 175 horsepower.
Yeah, and it's a more advanced engine, I would argue. It has it's turbocharged, it has direct injection. Those two are, I'm not sure whether the Ativa engine is directly injected. So that yields better performance and also better fuel economy. To answer your question, 1.1 liter turbo engine, powerful enough. 95 horsepower, not powerful enough for me. What's the torque number?
140.
Yeah, I mean, pushing a ton, no. I don't know.
It's light actually for SUV.
Yeah, but no.
It's good for city driving.
Yeah. It's enough lah, but not powerful enough. Okay, Irfan, I hope we've answered your question. Okay, let's take as many questions as possible.
All right, let's do one more quick fire on Facebook.
Okay.
All right. So Amirul, is Campro good for NA or bolt-on turbo?
Yo, ini soalan aftermarket ni.
That's your department.
Dah lama tak main Campro.
Maybe Sophie can answer.
Okay, Sophie is a car guy, and also Sophie is one of our newest entrant into the SoyaCincau team. He's a designer by day and a tuner by night. Okay, Sophie, you want to answer this question? Campro. Tapi Campro yang mana ni? Campro.
There's 2 Campro, right? The Campro and the other one is Campro
tak
CPS.
Pro. Cam tak Pro.
Campro CPS.
Okay.
Yes, CPS is like it act like a VTEC or MyVac, something like that, but not that similar lah.
Okay. Okay, 10
So
10 seconds. Answer this question.
Okay. Is Campro good for an A or bolt-on turbo?
So this is the normal Campro lah, not the CPS. We assume that, okay?
We assume it's a normal Campro.
Uh.
Okay, it's hard.
It depends. Okay, I guess the answer to this question, if I can, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, Sophie, the answer to this question is, what are you looking for? When people modify, right, they have like a certain kind of target or vibe that they want. Some people will like NA all the way. They don't want to go turbo. Some people want to go turbo because, so the NA people will go like, oh, turbo is cheating. But some people want to go turbo because after you tried turbocharging, right, you really don't want to go NA. You really don't want to go NA.
Yeah.
I guess then, okay, you would agree with me, right? Is it good for turbocharging? People have been turbocharging and Campros to death. There are kids out there, and it's safe, and it's actually quite fun. The other good thing about Campro engines is that you can rev them super high. They like to be revved super high. So I would say turbocharging is the way to go.
Yeah, but the reliability, no.
Just don't rev it super high. Don't boost it so much.
Yeah. Because a friend of mine, they bought on the Campro engine, and then because the turbo is mounted on top, the head cover of the Campro literally melted.
Melted.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Like how your throat literally.
Yeah. So
don't bolt the turbo on top of the engine lah.
maybe it's just a normal TDO4 or TDO5 on the bottom.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we'll do one live and raw about cars with Sophie.
Yeah.
Let us know if you want to do that. Alex, somebody said hi to you on Facebook.
Hello.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Andrew NC Wong.
Hello.
That's how Alex greets people that know him. Okay, let's go to the next final question. Guys, before we go to the final question, I just want to say another awesome show. Everybody on Clubhouse, thank you very much for joining us. I had so much fun answering the question. I don't know about you, Alex.
I have so much fun too. So please join us again every week on Friday at 6 p.m.
Yeah, join us and suggest topics. So put them in the comment section on Facebook. Suggest a topic that we should cover for the next Live and Raw. Okay, so this is so sad. This is the final question for today before we wrap up.
All right, we have a last question on Clubhouse.
Nice.
Hello, siapa di sana?
Hello. Oh, hello.
Hi.
Oh, it's Syed.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Syed. How are you? Syed is from Box of Text. Okay, Syed, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay. Hi everyone who's watching. My name is Syed Abdullah, and I'm a 13-year-old tech reviewer where I make content on reviewing smartphones, gadgets, and also electronics in English.
Awesome stuff. Okay, Syed, do you have a question for us?
Yes.
What is the question?
So for the question, so currently I am using an iPhone 7.
Okay.
And just asking, is it still relevant for 2021?
All right. Okay, is that your...
Or maybe for the next few years?
Okay, 2021 and beyond.
Yeah.
Okay, is there any other question?
I think that's all.
Okay, thank you very much, Syed. A 13-year-old tech reviewer in English. That is so inspiring. I hope your channel will go far from and grow and become bigger and bigger. All right, his question is not related to cars or whatever, but it's about the iPhone 7. Is it still relevant this year, and how long would it last? Alex, you want to go? When was the iPhone 7 launched?
Let me check on that. iPhone 7. But it's a bit hard to get brand new these days. iPhone 7 was launched in 2016, so it's 4 years old. So it's like coming towards the end of the software support. Yeah, so if you're going to get this phone, I think you'll probably get maybe 1 or 2 years of software update.
Yeah, okay. So Apple, right? So generally Apple will support devices up to 5-6 years. They are very good at making sure that their customers enjoy their devices for as long as possible. So we do see Apple phones lasting 5-6 years, like I said. But the iPhone 7 is already towards the end of its life cycle. So to answer your question, for 2020, is it still relevant? I guess it is. Sorry, 2021, is it still relevant? I guess it is, but it's approaching the end of its life cycle. So maybe it's time for you to upgrade. And with that, we wrap up the show. Thank you very much, guys, for the many questions I see on Facebook. I'm sorry I can't answer them right now. But hopefully, we'll see you again next week. And you can bring your question forward to the next show and we'll answer that for you. Okay, everybody, that's pretty much it. This is me, Amin.
And this is Alex.
And behind the scenes, I have Intan, I have Zachary, I have Sophie, and I have Rory. Where does Amira go?
Where's our voice?
Forgot to call our voice.
Okay, everybody, I just want to say thank you very much for joining us on the show. I hope you guys have a fun weekend and stay safe, everybody. You guys want to say goodbye?
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
See you all next week.
Yep. See you guys next week, 6 p.m. Friday.